mindset that we have that men don't like women to be ambitious, and men don't like women to be considered a boss woman, meaning that you're running your own business, you're making your own money, and also trying to do all that by also wanting to be a mother as well. For example, I've been in a relationship for 12 years. And within our 12 years, we met when we were really, really young. But one thing that my partner has never done in our relationship is hinder me or not support me in something that I'm trying to do. So if it's a business that I'm building, or if it's a business that I have built to have a better skill set, or for something I'm doing to better myself, to be able to make more money and to climb either a corporate ladder that I may be working towards at the time, or if it's a business that I'm branching off to start on my own and I'm just gaining skill sets so I can get to from A to B. Whatever the case may be, we haven't encountered that in our relationship. And I feel like the reason why we haven't is because a lot of people have it misconstrued that men don't want their women to work. It's not that men don't want their women to work or to better themselves or to be ambitious or to be like that it girl. There's just a lot that comes with it. So for men, when they become, high value, or they're on the totem pole where they're considered making a certain amount of money, or whatever business they have to put themselves out there, there's always women that are throwing themselves at them. There's, making temptation harder. And it's not necessarily that's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's just a lot that comes with it. So on the flip side, when women are doing the exact same thing that men are, there's a lot that comes with it. So when they go back to wanting a traditional woman, they're not saying that you can't be all of that. They're not saying that you have to necessarily be at home and cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids and that's all you do. They're not saying that. Now, there might be some men that's like, no, that's actually what I'm saying. That's what I want. That's okay. That's just maybe on their religion and whatever they follow. At the end of the day, you need to know which man you're choosing. Now, I do believe you can do both. But one thing I know is that when I talk to mothers, they run into time where it's like they feel like they don't have enough time because the kids consume so much of their time. So in that case, being able to have a dynamic where if you have enough funds where you're able to raise your children, or you have, a grandparent or an aunt or someone that could technically be a stay-at-home, so you don't have them in daycare or you don't have them out there and have other people raising your kids, and you're still keeping it within a family because you know the values that the family, that everyone that's watching them, you know what their values are. You know how they like to discipline. You know what their beliefs are, so you know what your kid is being brought up with. So then it's kind of keeping it within the same village per se. So if you guys are making the same amount of money, we'll take kids out of the equation at the moment. You're making the same amount of money. What dynamic typically works best for you? I'm going to speak for me, right? Even though we're making the same amount of money, I am naturally just better and quicker at cleaning the house. I'm more efficient at doing it. That doesn't mean he doesn't know how to, and it doesn't mean that he doesn't help out. But if we look at the roles of what generally just comes natural to us, I naturally find myself cleaning the kitchen. He'll wash off his own dishes. He'll put them in the dishwasher. If I create a system within the household, he will follow it. So women, we are known to be more nurturers. Because of that, we create the system within the house and our spouses will follow it. You know what I mean? Because it's not like we're saying, oh, I need you to go do the dishes or I need you to take the trash out. No, it's just there's certain systems that if we create, they'll follow. That's it. Take out everything else. We create the systems in the home. 9 times out of 10, men typically create the systems outside of the home. For me and Ethan, security systems, he's doing that around the house. He's more the IT person, so certain things that come natural to him. So if something needs to be fixed in the house, he's fixing it. If something needs to be done outside, he's doing that. Men like to protect and provide. So that's what they value their self on. They want to feel wanted and needed. So if they can't feel wanted and needed, just like women, we have our wants and needs. We want to be told that we're beautiful, be told that we're beautiful. We want to have the affirmations of, no, you're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you. You're an amazing wife. I admire you. I noticed you got your hair done. I noticed you changed something different. Like those are the things that women really pride themselves on, really wanting to do, smelling nice, looking nice for our partners. And then also on top of that, even outside of looking nice for our partners or looking nice for ourselves, because we do it for ourselves too, but we also do it for our partners. Come on now. Like I know when I'm like, oh, I'm putting this on and my husband's going to like it. I do it for him too. Let's just be honest. So, but it makes me feel good to be able to do it for myself because when I feel good, I'm able to make my husband feel better and feel good because I naturally feel good. It's just an energy and a frequency that rubs off on each other. So with that, when it comes to us in the household, it's natural for me to cook. I mean, he knows how to cook. So if it's to the point where I'm down and I'm not feeling well, yeah, he'll get in the kitchen and cook. Yeah, he'll get in there and take care of me. But on the regular basis, I am cooking. And also, I love nurturing, and taking care of my husband. So even though I'm working, I feel like as a wife role, I really take pride in like, no, I have a nice cooked meal. So for example, when my husband comes home, even if I did work, if my husband comes home, 9 times out of 10, I try to have food ready. So if he's ready to eat, he can eat. If he's not ready to eat, at least I know my duty is out of the way. So what I contribute to this household is making sure that there's food in here. So whoever wants to eat, me or him, or if we have kids, there's food. So you can eat when you're ready. So I take pride in doing that. I take pride in knowing that if my man wants a nice cocktail when he comes home, the cocktail's made. I take pride in doing that as a wife or even as a girlfriend, because to be honest, you're not going to get promoted in a job by not doing the job detail. Relationships is also a business. So there's a lot of times where we get wrapped up in our feelings and our love in a relationship, and we do have to learn to pull back because it is a business. And being too attached to anyone or anything is not healthy. It is addicting, and then it can cause problems. So you don't need to be addicted to your partner. You do need to be able to know, pull back that this is a business agreement, but you're also doing it because there's a lot of love in it as well, which can get a little messy, but understanding at the end of the day, it's a business agreement. It's a contract, so let's just be honest with that. But what I was saying is that when he comes home and I'll have his drinks made or anything like that I know that he may like because he had a long day. And then on the flip side, it's also important for the man to know, like, okay, I know I had a long day. Let me debrief, because when he comes home, I let him debrief, and then I'll do whatever work I need to, and then we come together where he'll come in, he'll massage my shoulders, massage my feet, just sit down and talk to me, bring me a glass of water, or whatever it is I want. Ask me if he wants me to make me some tea. There's a lot of things to do. In the morning, he'll start the coffee if he has to go. In relationships, we get so wrapped up on serving how you serve me when it's like, no, how do we serve each other so that we're able to maneuver in this household and make this household work and function better so that we're both prepared to go out in the world and we're both prepared to come home so we have peace in our home. So we kind of go back and forth. And in relationships, you have to go back and forth. So back to the job. You can't expect to get promoted in a job. Unfortunately, business gurus or business consultants or business-minded people, they'll tell you if you want to get promoted to another position, you have to do what? You have to start doing some other roles. You have to come to the person and solve on, okay, I know this is my role and I got to do X, Y, and Z, but I know that I seen that doing X, Y, and Z, we could work better as a company if we were to implement some of this. Okay, cool. They're going to look at, you know what, you've been coming to us, you've been solving extra problems that has nothing to do with you, you've already been doing roles that is already in another department. Let's just go ahead and promote you because of the work you put in. It's the same thing when it comes to a relationship. If you're like, oh, I'm not a wife, or that's a wife duty. No, it's if you're going to be with this person, or if you want to be with this person, it's your duty to start doing it now, because you're not going to get promoted to a wife if you got that mentality of, oh, I'm not cooking dinner for you, I'm not cleaning your house, I'm not washing your clothes. You could also make your man's day better as well. If you don't feel like cooking him lunch, send him lunch to his job. Take him lunch to his job. Do things where it's like, okay, I know this can help you. Hey, I can't do either of those. I'll send my man $20, just like, hey, I forgot to cook you lunch. Here's $20. Even if he has money. And he'll do the same thing for me. I could be working from home, say, go check the door, and I'll check the door and there's food outside. It's the little generous, nice things that we do for each other that makes my day better and makes his day better. And when you do that and you have that relationship, it's only going to feed off into your friendships. It feeds off into your partnerships of how you treat your employees or your coworkers, and then how you treat your parents, and then how you also parent your kids. Because then they'll start to see some of these traits as well, and then they'll naturally just pick up on it because they're little sponges. But if you're not showing them what needs to be done, then they're not going to pick up on it. A lot of times we get so focused on talking to the people and talking to our kids that it's like, no, like sometimes you just have to be the example. Your kid, if they're seeing like, oh, mom, you don't do that, I'm not doing that. their first role model is going to be you. And that's for men and women. So if you don't want your kids doing certain things, then you need to look in the mirror, because a lot of times it stems from their parents. A lot of the trauma that kids are passed down is from their parents. And I know there's a lot that goes into that, and every scenario is different. So I get that. But just take out the emotions when you're dealing with these type of situations, and just think logically. And women, we are known to be more emotional. And even outside being more emotional, because men and women both have emotions, women show our emotions more, and we act off of our feelings. Feelings and emotions are two different things, and we act off our feelings more. So when it comes to women that are typically making more, and say for example your husband's not making more, he had a down time. I know a lot of women personally that will talk to their man like they're kids. You start to lose respect for him if he's not bringing in a certain amount of money. So because men also pride themselves on protecting and providing, if they don't make a certain amount of money, you're going to be like, oh, well, you can't provide for me. And they look at if your amount of money also goes into protecting, meaning you can't put up security systems. You can't buy guns if we need them. Like, you can't do certain things. So a lot of things are stemmed with, when it comes to men and money, a lot of us as women, we put that together. So if you don't have money, you can't protect, you can't provide. So that's not always true. Like, there's sometimes just if a man does have a hard month, or a hard year, whatever the case may be, as long as he's still actively helping out and trying to be his best, it's up to you to continue to nurture him, especially when he's at his lowest. The way you talk to him is very important. Now, me personally, I have noticed that I have been getting frustrated with Ethan, and when I get frustrated with him, I start to talk to him, not like he's a kid, but I'm not as nurturing as his wife. And a lot of times I'll let him know, like, hey, I am talking to you from a friend point of view, and I'm trying to hold you accountable. But there's still a way that you can do it to still show that there's respect there. And that is something that I'm working on, because I didn't necessarily lose respect for him, but if I'm being honest, the way I would communicate with him is equivalent to if I did lose respect for him, because of the way I'm communicating, not understanding that mentally I'm like, I respect you, but physically and verbally I'm not showing that there's a level of respect there. I had to really do some hard internal work. I'm like, you know what? I get what you're saying. You don't want me to be escalated when I'm talking to you. You like for me to be a little more softer. So a lot of times when women become certain roles, it's easy for them to talk to their partner a certain way. Sometimes you have to be a little more stern in your work environments for people to take you serious. You don't have to be stern in your relationship for someone to take you serious. A lot of times, us as women, if we would just be a little more softer, we'll get what we want. We'll get what we want out of our partners. And a lot of times we forget. That's why that whole assistant role, partner and assistant role, is so attractive to a lot of men, is because the assistant is waiting on them. They're getting them their coffee. They're doing everything that they need to do. They're being that soft person. They're dressing up nice to work. They're smelling good. They're talking to them nice, because it could be in a flirting stage or whatever. We forget to continue to flirt in our relationships. So there's times where it's like, no, I need to talk to my man softer. And when I talk to him softer, I get anything I want. Versus me talking to him like a man, or talking to him in a very masculine way. He doesn't like that. So therefore, I know he doesn't like that, then why am I doing it? So it's not that they don't want ambitious women. It's just sometimes we don't know how to separate leaving it at the door. And some women think that they can. And if you can, then they're not talking to you. So get out of your feelings when they say, oh, they don't like ambitious women. It's not that they don't like it. It's just, can you do both? Can you leave it at the door? Because with men, when they come home and they don't want to talk to you as soon as they come home, it's because they're trying to debrief. They're trying to leave it at the door before they come in and bring their stress into you. Everyone's not perfect. A lot of people individually have trauma that they're healing from. But if we just talk about logically, most men, when they come home, they don't want to just start talking to you right away. They need some minutes to debrief so that they can literally just leave it at the door. Us as women, no. Sometimes we come in and be like, we just start going at it. And that's why I was like, we're almost like little dogs. Because dogs, they'll meet us at the door and they're like so happy to see us. And we like that. We're happy to see our partners. We're happy to see our husband. You know what I mean? But we can be a lot when it's like they're just trying to debrief so they don't bring it on us, and we're just like so happy to see them. It's just a lot. So what we can do as women is work on controlling our emotions and controlling our feelings. And a lot of times with us as women, when we get fed up with something, we're quick to leave. Men can get fed up, but they'll stay around, which is why I believe why women initiate divorces more than men, because they understand that you're not always going to be perfect. You're going to go through your ups and downs, but they're trying to learn how to be patient with us, but we're not learning to be patient with them. So we're going to debunk. Men don't mind if you work and do more. Long story short, this video is getting way too long than what I wanted it to, but one way you can sustain a 12-year marriage or longer is by understanding your partner, understanding that you both have to you both have to put the work in for this relationship to work, or this businessship to work, or this marriage to work. You have to both put in the work. It's going to be hard work. When you're not liking what your partner's saying, but they're trying to critique you to be a better person, shut up and listen. It was so hard for me. It's still hard for me. I'm actively working on it. But because I know I need to shut up and listen, the more I start telling myself, no, K-Don, he's literally just trying to help you to be a better person. You heal so much in relationships. And that's the thing. A lot of times we're so hard on our partner, but we're healing. When I'm dealing with whatever I dealt with in my last relationship, my previous childhood, then it's like I have to learn that I'm healing. And you're going to heal the most that you ever healed by being in a relationship. But you have to be ready. So us as women, controlling our emotions, controlling our feelings, understanding that our partners are going to critique us because they want us to be a better version. If you want to go out there and work on your business, that's fine, but don't neglect your home. Don't start talking to your man any kind of way if he starts making a little less. Because when we're both making the same and we're both have the same mentality and we're both fighting for each other, for our relationship and for us, our survival as far as building wealth, we don't run into those issues. It's only when someone starts having a downfall that we start like, okay, this isn't working, or we start dismissing our partners. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot more I can go on to it, so I might do a part 2 to this. But as of right now, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Men don't mind it. Men do not care if you're ambitious. Men do not care if you make a lot of money. They still want their women to be very soft. They want their women to be very nurturing. And if you can do both, then do both. Do both. Like, it's okay to do that. But if you can't, then you just need to go back and evaluate yourself and see what you need to work on. Okay? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment below, like, and subscribe. Until next time, go be great.